So far this season on STV, I've had the opportunity to go on a Wild West adventure to Alberta to Fort McMurray, then head all the way east to the Maritimes to ride the Christmas Mountains in New Brunswick with the boys. But for this show, I wanted to stay a little closer to home, so I've come here to Haliburton.
Man on a mission, I'ma get it, you know I be on a what?
Haliburton is located in the heart of Ontario cottage country, easily accessible by all the major centres up and down the 401 corridor. Now, getting here is easy for the cottagers, but also for people looking to get away from the busy city to experience all that Mother Nature has to offer here in Ontario. In the summer, Haliburton is a land of lakes and a true paradise for people who enjoy the woods and participating in outdoor adventures. ATVing is also popular here, with the region crisscrossed with every type of trail imaginable, from railbed to the technical trails of the Canadian Shield. In winter, covered in white, the Halliburton County Snowmobile Association takes over, grooming over 370 kilometers of trails, networking into other systems in every direction.
Nature's paradise, I guess. If you want to do it, we can do it here. From machines like snowmobiling, obviously, four-wheeling, all the way to anything quiet, like snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, downhill skiing, ice climbing, even dog sledding. It's just great to be out in the quiet in the nature. There's lots of space. I think if somebody hasn't been to the Haliburton Highlands and want to experience just being with nature, I guess, is the best way. Whether on your snowmobile and cruising, like in Halliburton Forest, you can go 600 kilometers of trail up there and throughout Haliburton, and sometimes not even see a sled if you so choose, because they have so many trails. Haliburton Highlands is definitely an outdoors paradise for people. Whether, again, it's snowmobiling, cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, but you can do it.
The region also offers up some excellent sledding opportunities if your plan is to stay and play, with multiple day loop options traveling through some of the many small towns that dot the area. However, despite the closeness to the towns, the system does have a remote feel to it because nearly all the trails connect you through the woods, with a spectacular ride through a hilly and twisty network that uses the area's lakes as a big part of the system. But don't let the lake crossings scare you. The lakes here have been marked and staked, and they're checked regularly to make sure that they're safe for snowmobilers traveling across them. With the remote feel of the region, but with the close proximity to the many towns to stop in along the way, also makes Haliburton a great place for new riders to come and experience snowmobiling for the first time.
This is where it all happens up here. I mean, we have the Skidoo trails, ATV trails, we have the lake system to support the lakes for the boating in the summertime. So really, there's everything here for all power sports needs, and just the trails connect everywhere. There's nowhere you can't go. You can start off, whether it's in Minden or Haliburton or from anywhere you want from your backyard. You know, the lakes are a big part of our system up here. So yeah, it's the groomed trails, getting off the trail. There's places like that too. I mean, it brings everything for everybody. Yeah, Harper Power Sports is sales, service, parts. We're full service as far as looking after all of our products. We have a big rental business in the wintertime for snowmobiles. It's an easy process of just calling up Harper Power Sports, telling them you're looking to rent a snowmobile in such and such date. Customers' response after they've come up here and experienced that, they just love it. They just love what the area has to offer. There's a lot of different things to see out there and do. So the winter months up here is a great place to be. And come on up and rent a Skidoo or bring your Skidoo up and enjoy the area, and you'll find out that you'll probably come back and do it all over again.
This region is also located just to the south of Algonquin Park and a key part of the Round Algonquin Park Tour. The RAP Tour takes riders on a 3 to 5 day route all the way around the park on some of the best trails in Ontario. Haliburton, with the services here, is a great place to stop for gas and grub while out on the tour, or as a great place to start your tour from, where you can safely leave your trucks and trailers behind while you ride. In addition to the trail system, there's many hotels and lodges in the region offering up all sorts of activities for people looking for more than just a snowmobile tour.
Snowmobilers are always welcome all year round. Between motorcycles and ATVing and snowmobiling in the wintertime, we're a perfect destination, sort of hidden off on beautiful Eagle Lake in Halliburton County. Sir Sam's Inn, what we sort of specialize in and the environment you have is a 103-year-old historical inn that is basically a casual, upper scale luxury resort that caters to adults only environment that really want to have that quiet getaway and still have all the luxuries of a larger hotel.
Bonnie View is a four-season resort located in the Halliburton Highlands. We've been around for forever. We've been around since 1924, so the foundation of our main building was built in 1924. We've welcomed all sorts of snowmobilers and check out the awesome trails in the area. So there's so much to do. We've got places like Sir Sam's for skiing and snowboarding. We've got all sorts of parks and trails for people to go hiking and do nature walk type stuff. It's the perfect place to come, not too far away from Toronto, and just a really nice getaway for somebody looking to get away for a weekend.
The Halliburton Forest and Wildlife Reserve property dates back to the early days of logging back in the 1800s. Now at that time, there was really no thought to the health of the forest by removing so many trees so quickly, and it wasn't long before logging stopped altogether. In the 1940s, the property was purchased by Hay & Company, who began logging operations again and built a large wood mill on the site of today's base camp. Some of the buildings here now date from that time. Resource mismanagement and a fire that destroyed the mill put an end to that era. Then, in the early 60s, the Halliburton Forest began the journey it's still on today. Designated Canada's first sustainable forest, logging operations are still happening on the property, where the health and stewardship of the forest are priorities over the exploitation practices of the past. But here, there's also all kinds of recreational and educational programs available that will complement the experience of the forest.
Yeah, so Halliburton Forest is this great 100,000 acre forest where we obviously have all these outdoor activities to do. So in the summer we camp, we hike, we bike, we have the Walk in the Clouds, so our canopy tour. But then in the winter, it's like this whole other world where we get this beautiful, beautiful white snow, white gold, and we have snowmobiling, we have accommodations on site, we have a restaurant, and then we recently partnered up with Yours Outdoors that offers guided snowshoeing and hiking and cross-country skiing. But then of course we have our snowmobile and ATV trails, and that is obviously our biggest winter draw, and it is awesome here. Here at the forest, when you come snowmobiling, you don't just have to go snowmobiling. There's so many different things to do. And I think that's why we draw a lot of families. So, you might go for a ride in the morning, you might go to the Wolf Center, we have the restaurant on site. It's a little bit like a ski resort, but for snowmobilers. So it's this haven where, maybe you want to stretch your legs, go for a snowshoe or hike on some of our trails that are also here.
Of course, there's snowmobiling here too, on a private trail system maintained by the forest's own fleet of groomers and dedicated staff. Located on the Algonquin Dome, there's a little bit more elevation and therefore a little bit more snow. Plus, their trails are groomed over a road system here at the forest. All this means they're usually one of the earliest places to ride in Ontario. More than one new sled has been brought here for its first ride of the season.
So the trails here at Halliburton Forest are on private property. So you don't necessarily need an OFSC pass, but you do need, valid ownership and insurance. Everything you would need on an OFSC trail you need. So we have over 400 kilometers of trails. We have over 100 lakes on the property. We don't stake all of them. We stake 6 or 7. But we range from what we call our main trails, which are all gravel roads in the summer. So that's why we're able to open up a bit earlier, is we can get out there with minimal snow, pack those down, groom them, get people out. And then as the season goes, as we get more snow, we can open up our secondary trails. And then we have our single track trails, which are my favorite. So you go down and, you know, like they're as wide as your sled, a little bit more technical, twisty and turny, but they always bring you to these stunning destinations like the Gorge or the Powderhorn, which is this massive marshland. So yeah, so there's lots of varying degrees of difficulty. Yeah.
Even if snowmobiling is what draws you here to the region and that's all you want to do, that's totally fine and you will have an amazing time. But if you're looking for more, experiencing places like the Halliburton Forest and Wildlife Reserve are a great way to elevate your time in this area, especially if you're here with the family. In addition to the forest, there's also a program here called Yours Outdoors that provides activities throughout the Haliburton region.
Outdoor winter activities, it's our favorite time of year. Everybody always thinks that summer is like the best time, but no, winter is like the most fun time to play. So our favorites, we've got ice fishing. That's our most popular one this year. We've got some incredible lakes, some incredible fish. We've got ice climbing we've got the Ontario's highest human-made ice wall right here in Halliburton Highlands. But I can say that if you're interested in snowmobiling, there are tons and tons of opportunities for other things you can do in the area. So we oftentimes work directly with Halliburton Forest, so people will come and check out these absolutely incredible snowmobile trails. And then some people go out on the trails and some people say, you know what, I'm too cold, you know what, I don't feel like snowmobiling 4 days in a row, what else is there in the area? So we partner with those people specifically and we offer them, like I said, maybe they want to warm up by glass blowing, maybe they want to hit up the lakes to do some ice fishing. There's lots of options just to be able to see what else is in the area.
To finish our trip off into the Haliburton area, we've made our way over to the Potash Trailblazers, one of the many clubs in this region, to experience their Trailblazer Tour Loop, which is just one of the many loops or combination of loops that you can ride here in the Haliburton region. Accessible off the main E trail out of Haliburton, the combination of the B103 out of town and then onto the 9 and the Trail 606, the Trailblazer Loop will take you through the towns of Wilberforce and Harcourt, but also up to clip the corner of Algonquin Park on one of the few trails that pass through inside the park's boundaries. With the Haliburton area being such a traditional snowmobiling hub dating back to the early days of organized snowmobiling in Ontario, this is a mature system that's very well connected throughout the region. Loop upon loop can be strung together to create whatever kind of day you want on the snow. From an easy, family-friendly trip that has places to stop, warm up, and have a bite to eat, along with great views and experiences along the trail, to high-mile ground and pounds, you can find whatever you're looking for here in the Haliburton Highlands region. The trails of the Trailblazer Loop are exactly what you'd expect from this region, the main E trail being a little bit more wide open and the number trails tightening up in this winding route. There's plenty of ups and downs along with good places to stop. If you make your way here to Harcourt on the Trailblazer Tour Loop, make sure you stop and have a coffee at this place because it is some of the best coffee we've had on this tour. Personally, I like the Algonquin Park section. Even though it's just a small part of this loop, I like how the trees suddenly get bigger and the snow seems to get just a little bit deeper. That part of the trip is still ahead of us, but we're out of time with this show. We've had a great couple of days here in Haliburton and are already looking forward to coming back. So if you're looking for a place to ride that has all kinds of things to do beyond sledding, look no further than the Haliburton Highlands.